Most creatives are not failing because they lack talent or anything else like that. They're failing because they don't have confidence or the self-esteem in themselves to either charge what they're worth or put themselves in the rooms that truly fit them, right? I've been a creative for crazy enough for like the last 10, 11 years. I'm only 23, right? Starting when I was a kid, editing gaming videos, doing, for gaming teams and different content creators, and level it up now into my business. Man, I work with celebrities, I work with artists, I work with athletes, and I've had to learn a great deal of lessons, from starting out charging only $5 to edit people's videos and teaching people for a 20 ball, to closing four-figure contracts on, some very, very simple projects because I understand my expertise and my creativity. And even to this day, I still run into people who devalue me and try to lowball me, but through experience, your confidence gets built. And there's a couple things that I actually want to talk about in this video that I could potentially, maybe help some other creatives coming up. The very first thing I want to touch on, because I got it all in notes for you guys, is your craft is not a hobby. Your craft is a calling. When you start working behind like lower than industry standard, it puts you in a very interesting perspective, right? It puts you in this scenario where you instill in your head that what you're doing is less important or not as important as the next person doing it, right? And it creates this toxic environment where not only you set a standard for yourself going forward, because if you anchor yourself at, let's say, $100, your next project, if you were to quote it like correctly, and you were to just jump up to 1,000, 2,000, you may feel out of pocket, you may feel out of place a little bit because you set that standard for yourself. Now, you also set the standard within the consumers, the people that we're interacting with, because they see the people charging the real prices to get these things edited, but then they also see the people lowballing themselves to get a quick dollar, And if they see more people lowballing themselves, it devalues the industry as a whole and makes it harder for not only yourself, but other people to start charging what they're truly worth. Devaluing yourself does more than just devalue you. It devalues the ones after you, and it devalues the ones around you who are really putting the hours in and the work in to make certain things happen. Now, the second thing that I want to touch on was, if you're like kind of hesitant or you're kind of confused on whether or not you're charging enough or you're doing enough, look at your competition. Now, I know they say don't compare yourself. Your prices should be your prices. You do what you're comfortable with. But let's be honest. When you start looking around and you see other people doing, let's say, half of what you're doing, they're not even doing as much as you are. They're not delivering as much as you are, right? But then they're also not doing it as good as you are. So not only are they not getting the quantity of what you would deliver, they're not getting the quality that you would deliver, right? But they're charging higher than you are. That should tell you right then and there, you need to value what you do a lot more. And sometimes that takes you removing yourself from the people who's been devaluing you. Because, when you very first start, you're just building yourself up. You're putting those reps in. And a lot of times you'll get lost in how many reps you've actually put in. You will you will embed this perspective that you're still a beginner, and you will lowball yourself 3, 4 years in, 2 years in, even a year in, because that's a good amount of work experience. You will lowball yourself because you're still thinking from the perspective of you're just starting, not realizing that reps build the quality, in a sense. Over time, if you've attached yourself to $100 people for the last year and you've been doing nothing but $100 jobs, you've then got better at doing $100 jobs. The moment you take that same $100 skill set and maybe put it in a different room, let's say like if you're someone in like creative, right? I stopped trying to pitch to like random people and just like fly by day kind of creators and stuff like that. I look more towards the businesses, the brands, the creators, the ones who know that they need creative in order for them to keep doing what they do, love, and want. The numbers went up, right? But when I was running into people, it's like, oh, I just need it for fun, or there's just this thing I want to do. It's this idea I have. He helped me. That's when the lowball numbers start hitting. Whenever it's like a necessity, it's never a lowball. They might try it, but They respect it to a certain extent because they know they need it, you know. Um, these are all just, it's all like a trial and error thing. And I think God will show you as an individual and as a creator, artist, entrepreneur, when it's time for you to raise your prices. Because God will put places and people in front of you that's showing you the exact same thing you're doing, and they're living a different reality. For me, it was all these social media clips and all these other type of things. You know, I'm seeing people starting to live their life, buying penthouses, cars, all this other type of stuff, implementing the same skill sets that I have, right? And then like, let's say something with like content creation, you know, or music. When you're very first starting, when you're very first getting into it, you don't know what to do. You don't realize that sometimes all you got to do is just put your stuff on a streaming platform, make some content marketing, send the music over there. You get what I'm saying? Like simple things to monetize yourself. Or like with content creation, you'll be stuck looking at your views and all this other type of stuff. But then you look over and see somebody whose quality looks the exact same as yours, if not worse. The music sounds worse than yours, but they've made it so far, right? That dynamic, let alone, should instill like a confidence within you that you don't need to be perfect. And that saying somewhat is kind of true. If it's your time, it's your time. It will happen when it's supposed to happen. But I'm also a firm believer in putting your best foot forward. If you know that something is an option or a reality, even in the slightest of facets, at least try figuring out the things that you need to do to make that a possibility or make that a reality. You know, don't sit there and pray for the blessing, but don't work for the blessing. Blessings get expedited through action. You know, you can sit there and pray for the blessing, try manifesting it, and it don't come until 200 years later. One of your great grandchildren had to catch it. You feel me? But if you pray on it, you put the action behind it, there's a very good chance that it manifests during this lifetime. And the earlier you start in your process, the quicker you will get there. The quicker you remove yourself from negativity, the quicker you will find the positivity. The quicker you accept the negativity, the quicker you will open your heart for the positivity. The quicker you see yourself as worthy and valuable, the quicker people will respond to that energy. The quicker you will find yourself in different places. The quicker you will make different decisions that lead you into different people who treat you differently. This is all like an energy management and self-awareness journey. The more in tune and, you know, aligned you can get with yourself, the easier it's going to be for you to walk down certain paths and do other things. You're not going to be as hesitant. You're going to make the right decisions. Sometimes, you know, I say this a lot, you can meet a client, you can meet a business partner, you can meet the love of your life by just going somewhere that God told you to go, somewhere random. Coffee shop, libraries, parks, random shit can lead to you getting exactly what you want. I've closed clients simply walking down the beach, taking pictures. Once you fall into that flow of creativity and you just open your energy up to there's more and you believe it, you start seeing the opportunities around you. But if you don't think you deserve something, or you don't think something's available to you, the opportunities will be right in front of you, but you simply won't grab them. You won't take hold of them because with the frequency level you're sitting at isn't even letting you like see it. Like you can see, look at the sky, like we can see blue, but if your frequency's fucked up, you may see red. Now, not literally, you get what I'm saying, but you're not going to see what I see. So your reaction and your choices is going to change based upon what you see. If you wake up one day and you see a red sky, you're gonna start tripping out. She might be high. You feel me? It's like, are you catching the correlation of what I'm getting at right there? You may be tripping because your frequency is a little bit lower. Your frequency's low. The higher frequency, the baseline, normal frequency, would see the opportunity, would see what it is and acknowledge it for what it is. So now we take advantage of it. Now we record videos. Now we walk outside. Now we dress different. Now we let the sun soak us up. We know we have more appreciation because our frequency allowed us to see what was real, what was actually in front of us. You can distort your own reality. And that distortion of reality will for sure show in your business, your prices, your income, your love, your family. It will show in a lot of things. So, work on your self-esteem, work on your confidence, believe in yourself, because I believe in you guys, right? It's always a journey. I would suggest you guys start off charging the baseline of whatever your industry is. Whatever your industry is, a starter. With me, when I was getting into photography, people were saying $200, $250, so that's exactly where I started. And we worked up from there. Don't devalue yourself because you think you're not worthy, because at the end of the day, if you've put any type of time into learning how to do something, chances are you've put more time than the next person, because there's somebody who hasn't done it at all, and by them trying to do just a little bit, the basics of what you know how to do, it will take them ages. So put some respect on your name. With that being said, I love y'all, I love y'all, I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. It's been Jay.